I love my job. Some patients can really test my patience. The bargainer. Yo. Behold the bargainer. They walk into the hospital like it's some kind of swap meet, believing that every single prescription and medical directive is negotiable. Seriously, I'm starting to feel like I'm running a pharmacy/used car lot. These patients hit me with lines like, "What if I just take half the dose today? You know, see how it goes?" Or the classic, "Do we really have to do that test now? Can't we just push it to, say, next Thursday?" It's like they think I have some mystical authority to say, "Sure, we'll just toss out the doctor's orders and go with your gut feeling." Spoiler alert, my job isn't to bargain over medical procedures like I'm throwing in free floor mats with a car purchase. No, you can't take half an IV or split an antibiotic course like a 2-for-1 pizza deal. These aren't coupons, folks. They're prescriptions, meaning they're kind of important for your health. Yet here I am explaining, again, why skipping today's meds won't miraculously make your condition vanish. They'll try anything short of asking, "If I take my blood pressure meds, do I get a free flu shot?" And let me assure you, there's no buy one, get one free on x-rays. Just trying to keep you healthy over here. No bartering required. Nursing diary. I love my job. Some patients can really test my patience. The chronically concerned clock watcher. The chronically concerned clock watcher. A real gem in the world of patients. For them, time isn't just a passing concept. It's a sacred institution, and they are its loyal disciples. They've not only memorized their medication times, but also seem to have internalized the schedule down to the very second. Miss their pill by a single tick, and they'll be hitting that call button faster than you can say, "second hand." They'll give you that, "I trusted you" look when you walk in at 3:01, clutching their imaginary pearls as if you've just committed the worst time-related offense known to humankind. Meanwhile, you're likely balancing 5 other patients who each need something different, but this doesn't register with them. Oh no, that would ruin the sanctity of the clock. You're tempted to say, "Don't worry, I've programmed my entire life around your schedule." But instead you smile, nod, and play along. All while secretly hoping a time machine would magically appear in the hallway. Just to get a tiny bit ahead of their relentless gaze, if only for a minute. This is my nursing diary. I love my job. Some patients can really test my patience. Yeah, the dramatic performer. The dramatic performer. Every workplace has at least one. This patient transforms even the smallest symptom into a Broadway-worthy performance. A mild headache? Clearly, the world is ending. A stubbed toe? You'd think they're on the verge of calling in an orthopedic surgeon to consider amputation. And don't even get me started on a paper cut or a vaccination needle. The wailing that follows is an event in itself, complete with sighs, groans, and the occasional clutching of the heart. Their talent for theatrics is, frankly, Oscar-worthy. And I often catch myself suppressing a laugh as they bravely soldier on through the agony. What's truly impressive is their uncanny ability to make every minor ache and pain demand my undivided attention, as if the entire hospital's fate hangs in the balance. Yet, just when I'm beginning to wonder if this is the end, they'll sit up with renewed strength and casually ask if they can have a snack or some juice. The quick turnaround is truly something to behold, and sometimes I wonder if I should be carrying applause cards in my pocket. Is it exhausting? Absolutely. But at least I get a live show with my daily rounds. Hey, maybe one day I'll hand out an award for best performance in a medical drama. Day from my nursing diary. I'm a nurse and I love my job. Some patients can really test my patience. The escape artist. Meet the patient who turns every shift into a game of catch me if you can. Known for their grand escapes, this patient has made an art form of attempting to break free from the confines of their hospital room. IV lines and monitoring devices are mere inconveniences to them, minor hurdles in their quest for freedom. You can meticulously secure their IV, adjust their bed, fluff their pillows, and issue stern instructions to stay put. Yet somehow, minutes later, you're greeted by an empty bed and a shrieking alarm. Sure enough, they're halfway down the hallway or holding court in the elevator, casually asking anyone they meet for directions to the nearest coffee shop as if they're out on a Sunday stroll. Why do they do it? Maybe they're bored, maybe they're adventurous, or maybe they just don't think they belong here in the first place. You've tried explaining the risks and reminding them of the importance of rest and healing, but they're already mentally mapping out the next escape route. By the end of your shift, you're less of a healthcare professional and more of a would-be warden, glancing down hallways, peeking around corners, and mentally bracing for yet another surprise. Sighting. Who knew working in a hospital could feel so much like starring in an action movie? From my diary. I love my job, but some patients can really test my patience. What? The family nurse patient. This patient acts like they've assembled an entire medical team within their family, and they're all on standby. It feels like half the extended family has been consulted on every aspect of the patient's care. And of course, each one has their own professional opinion. My day often starts with a phone call from cousin Linda, offering advice on what should be in the IV drip, or maybe Grandma Betty reminding me to check the room temperature. Again. It doesn't end there. Every few hours, there's another family member ready with advice or some fresh commentary. Did Aunt Maggie tell you to ask for more pain meds? Or, Uncle Joe thinks I need a better bed, maybe with massage functions? At this point, I've seriously considered scheduling a family meeting just to make one unified decision on everything, saving myself from a day full of helpful tips. Or maybe I should just put a sign on the patient's door that reads, "Medical consultations closed until further notice." The real kicker? After carefully explaining that we follow doctor-prescribed treatments, not Uncle Joe's DIY home remedies, I still end up debating why essential oils are not a replacement for antibiotics. It's like a revolving door of opinions, yet they don't realize that it's not exactly helpful or that I have, other patients. But hey, at least I'll know who to call if I ever need a family reunion scheduled at the hospital. A day from my nursing diary. I'm a nurse and I love my job. Some patients can really test my patience. The food critic. Meet the patient who believes they're at a top-notch bistro rather than a hospital. From the second they lay eyes on the food tray, their disappointment is palpable. Is this really the best they can do? They'll ask, as if expecting room service from a luxury resort. The Jell-O gets side-eye, the mashed potatoes are compared to something from a grade school art project, and the coffee? Well, let's just say they've tasted better brews from a gas station. With a sigh and a grimace, they critique each bite as if judging a cooking competition. The veggies are bland, the chicken is overdone, and the bread is, well, I'm not even sure that's bread, they declare, poking it suspiciously. But it's not just about the taste, it's the presentation, the temperature, the lack of finesse. They're not just eating, they're on a mission for perfection, a quest that only seems to intensify with each meal. They'll even suggest simple fixes, as if the hospital's dietary restrictions are mere guidelines. By the end of your shift, you've started mentally designing a food truck menu, or maybe plotting a way to sneak in a burger that might just satisfy their refined taste. Just one more critique, and you might even call the head chef, if hospitals actually had one. If hospitals.